Welcome to Making It, a podcast where dreamers are catching their dreams. This is your host, James DeMarco. Sit back and get inspired to make it happen. Welcome, everybody, to this episode of Making It, Dreamers Catching Their Dreams. I am here with my longtime dear friends, Charles and Diane, who are light bearers in their work, making it happen across the world in their travels, in their personal life and professional life. They are the proprietors of Love Drops podcast. Diane has 2 books, Clearly Ready and Aftercare, and Charles is a master holistic practitioner with a book titled Tai Chi Secrets with Master Woody. So welcome, Charles and Diane.
Hey, James, how are you?
And thank you.
I am great. It's so great to have you guys here and see you. Audience out there, I met Charles and Diane in 2021 in a new season of my life. Charles and Diane, you will see, we'll talk about your new season. And I had just discovered Charleston, South Carolina in 2020. And in 2021, I was on Sullivan's Island Beach on January 2nd with my former dog, Ojai. And Ojai was running around like a crazy girl because she loved the beach there. And she ran right up to Diane. And I was thinking, oh, please stop going up to people. And me and Diane started talking, and love dropped, as Diane would say. And we became instant friends. And it happened to be Diane's birthday as well.
Yes.
So it was a synchronistic moment for us. And I believe that people are put in your path at that right moment to guide you to the next step in your life into that new season. And Charleston was in a special place for Charles and Diane. They travel across the world like vagabonds, like me. And we just pick up and go. We don't worry about the gas money or the mileage on the car. We just go when we're called to experience, explore, and meet new people. And that is exactly what I did on that day, January 2nd, 2021. So you guys have been a light in my life. And I just want to open this discussion with a passage from Clearly Ready. Now, this is a quote from Edmund Hillary that you guys have in there. It says, "People don't decide to become extraordinary. They decide to accomplish extraordinary things." And I think that is so powerful, because in making it happen and making your dreams come true, in being that light and taking that leap of faith for new seasons in your life, new careers, relationships, living places, you need to accomplish and decide to accomplish those extraordinary things. And it just is extraordinary. So Charles and Diane, tell me a little bit about how you guys have been light bearers with your Love Drops podcast, and your greater platform is Paths to Transformation, which is what we are all about here at Making It Happen, because we want our listeners to transform their lives into something extraordinary. So let's hear a little bit about your journey and your philosophy on being that Path to Transformation light bearer.
All right. Ladies first. So first and foremost, thanks, James, for having us on your podcast. So proud of you. So just excited to see you making it happen, because we've spoken about this from the beginning, from the time we met. So this is amazing. Our journey, it starts with surrender. You just have to let it all go. You have to tell yourself that you got it. You have to go for it. And even if you fall, at least you fall forward. At least you fall trying. And at least you have no regrets, right? So it's a mindset. It starts with a mindset. And we've talked so many times, James, and I've told you over and over again, I was like, take the price off of it, take the limits off of it. You go for it. You see yourself in your next season and you go and live into it.
Yeah.
So I think the last time we saw each other in person, we were in a beach house on Folly Beach.
Yes.
We had been there for almost 5 months, right? And it was a result of stepping into a new season and also just following that light. We were there to rejuvenate and just bring light to the situation. How we do it, we just love. We just love. We just
And you
love.
Yes,
surrender.
a lot of the things we don't have the how there. And as Diane had mentioned before, even if you fall on your face, you know you're moving forward. So
Yes.
get up and keep on moving. So these
So
things are
you both though gave up your life, right? You
I
not
wouldn't
gave
say
up your life,
give up. I said
but
we
you
both elevated our
okay, you
life.
leveled up.
We leveled up. I mean, we elevated our life, and that's the catch. And I'm glad you said it like that, because even when we took that first leap, it would appear to those around us that we were just giving everything up. And where would we end up? Where
Yeah.
would this take us? And I'm not gonna lie, we didn't know, but what we knew was that what was calling us was greater than what was keeping us. Okay. And so we said, we're going for it. And I can say this, even though you said, in the introduction about vagabonds, I was thinking about it, kind of laughing. I was like, we are the most glamorous vagabonds that I ever met,
Right.
because I mean, we thought where we were was great and comfortable, right? But as a result of saying yes to this adventure, the places and people and situations continue to blow our minds. I mean, our minds are continuously just like, wow, wow.
Yes. Yes.
it's
But
been one. No, go ahead.
no, continue.
I was going to say it's been one wow after another. Some of the things we say we had no idea how we acquired that, but it was there for us. Other folks are asking us, and when we tell them we don't know, they say, come on, you have to know. That was very, very expensive. It was, and it became a gift. But
Yeah.
Favor. Right.
favor and gifts,
It's a
yes.
favor for sure. Favor.
Favor. So you both took that leap. You felt that there was a deep assignment. I'm going to read this passage from Clearly Ready. It says, when you are where you are supposed to be, fulfilling your assignment, things have a way of flowing and fitting together. Just to be clear, this does not mean the waters will always be smooth. There will be waves and turbulence, but there will also be a peace in the midst of the storm for you to remain steadfast.
Yeah.
So I feel
Yeah.
like that's important because you both felt that spirit and soul calling. So let's talk about what that feels like when you know that you do have an assignment for something greater in life and it calls you to let go of where you're at to move into something higher, leveling up.
That's funny, because I know um, a lot of times you're at the top of your game, or you're at a place that you've always wanted to be. Like for me, I was teaching. We were living in Pasadena when we first started this. Life was good. We had great neighbors. My grandkids were there. Hey, I mean, life was good. And then it was just like, okay, you need to go. And it's scary, because it's like, okay, but then what? You don't see beyond the veil. And it's something that just keeps calling at you. So you don't really get peace. So before that nudge, you're thinking life is great, all is well. When that nudge comes, it's like you can't get comfortable. It just keeps coming. It keeps coming. It keeps coming. And if you're familiar with the story of the alchemist, right? It'll keep coming, and then maybe at some point it'll go away. you don't want it to go away, because then that's where that regret comes in. Like, what, then then you get to that point where you start wondering, what if, you have that what if.
Yeah, and on that note, we're continuing to go forward, knowing that we can't change the course of the wind, but we can adjust our sails and continue to move forward. It's work.
And it doesn't get any easier either. And I think that's what people get a little misconstrued about, because they say, well, you guys been doing this for 9 years, so you got it down to a science. And that's the thing about that nudge, because it will keep pulling you from comfortable to uncomfortable, from known to unknown. So you get into a situation and you're there for as long as you're there, right? And a lot of times it's when you get really comfortable in it and you start like, hey, getting a routine really going, and then you just feel that nudge, like it's time to go. And it's like, really? And so sometimes it's hard, even, in this period, it's hard to make those leaps, because I'm gonna tell you, the beach house, honey, that was really comfortable.
Wow.
So to
That's a great beach house. I even wanted to live in the garage with the dog. I could have opened up my coffee shop in the garage.
right, yes, it is a beauty, and it was favor. It was
It was
favor. That
favor.
was favor on the journey, because truly it was not something that we could take our rational mind and bank account and look at like, oh, we can afford this for this long. Well, when you're saying yes to the adventure and you're surrendered, then things have a way of operating in flow, where it meets you where you are and take you where you need to go. And it's a
Yes.
beautiful thing.
It's trusting God and trusting the universe and that internal compass.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, for sure.
Now, for the listeners out there, Charles and Diane, they said they've been on this 9-year journey, but I just want to touch a little base. So when we say 9-year journey, they've been leaping over and over again into new chapters of their life when they receive this calling, which guides them to travel across the country to different states to live for periods of time. And during this time, they are being light bearers by working with the local communities for rescue missions, anything that comes up where they feel called to create that love, that one love, which is their platform. So it's not just they're changing a job; they've done that as well, but they are traveling across the country, depending on spirit to give them the favor to do this work of goodwill, and where to live and how to afford it, or who is going to donate it. Am I correct in that,
Well,
Charles?
as far as like just our places, because it's not really we've not had that mansion donated yet, but we're open
Yes.
We're
to it.
open.
We are open to it. So, like, if you have a villa in Positano that's vacant and you need someone to live in it,
That's where I want to
yes,
go, Positano.
yes, we
Yeah.
we will come and live in it, and we will bring our love. But it's definitely we there's costs associated to it, again, just with great favor. So, and it always matches what it is that we have, and the cost does, but the actual locations most of the time doesn't, because the places that we have been in, we can say this: when we left Pasadena, we had a great place, and every single place that we've landed since then has been wonderful as well. I mean, you've seen, you've come, so like, yeah. So, and it's just saying yes to the adventure and surrendering, to go to these different places and spaces. Yeah.
Yes. And
And
we're
I think it's important also, that leap that you both have done over and over again. it's just, I feel like it's so divinely guided. And I feel like that's important for everybody to know that you might be in your greatest season, like you said, Diane. You might have a top paying corporate job, or um, have the best support around you where you live, but you might be called on a new assignment, a new career that you would like, a passion project. It could be charity, it could be a new relationship. And that is your greatest time, where you're going to have to trust and do the jump.
Yeah.
And I think everybody thinks that when they're in that great season, that is their sign that they're going to stay there. And sometimes it's not.
Right. And that's the thing. I think it's the sacrifice and surrender, because it's what are you willing to give up? So are you willing to give up great for greater?
Mm.
And that is the thing. When it's good for better, or when it's good for good, it's a little bit easy. But when you feel like you're somewhere great, are you willing to take the leap from great to greater? And that has been our life. Are you willing to leap from your comfort zone into the possibilities of infinite?
Mm.
That
Infinite. And I said that in a podcast I did with my former life coach. And I was, as you know, I've been wanting to move, and I have that nudge. Okay.
Mhm.
And other people have questioned it. Oh, it's just, a phase, but it's a phase for 5 years now. Okay.
Yeah.
So a friend of mine recently said about work, well, if you move here, what's your end goal going to be with doing that job? And I said, end goal? I don't think in those terms of end goals. Like that's saying that I am never going to aspire higher, and that's it. And I said that I'm infinite.
That's
So,
right. That's right.
and I think that's everybody's issue, is they're so structured on, okay, we're 62, it's time to retire.
Right.
Life is going, let's do this, and this, and it's not always that case. And I don't think in those terms, and I know you guys don't either.
Not at all. Not at all. And just for those that are viewing and listening to this podcast, our journey is so organic in the flow. Like the way that we met you, we were in transition. We had just landed, well, we were contemplating on coming to Charleston. It was my birthday, and we were saying, I think this is the next leap. So, we were there for that. And what ended up happening was, from the time we met you, within the week, we made the leap. So when we met you on the beach, it was a place of just contemplation, not whether we were going to take the leap, but when we were going to take the leap, because we knew that we were going to take the leap, right? So it was in a transition period. You were in a transition period. And that's how it's happened. It aligns us with the people that are in similar spaces, and we begin to exchange light. So when we met you, we immediately just began to just exchange light, exchange love. And it was like we had known you for a very long time. The
Yes, I
conversation.
know. It
Yeah.
was just effortless.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and when it's right, wouldn't you agree? It is effortless with whatever it is in life.
That is so true. And we've had so many questions coming at us about that. And that was part of the advent of our 516 docuseries, to help folks get a better understanding of what we're doing and how it's been done.
Charles jumped ahead right there. You see how
That's okay. So listeners out there, Charles and Diane have decided to document this paths to transformation journey in dropping love wherever they land. And I happened to see the trailer, the intro episode, and it's called 516, based after the Matthew scripture. So this is your next chapter, your next assignment, which is going to really put your story out there to inspire everyone else to make it happen. for their own life.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about this series and what you're hoping to achieve by having people see it and having it be on a noteworthy platform.
Wow. Okay. So, first of all, our producer, another organic meeting on the journey. We had been talking about this docu-series for about 5 years because we wanted initially to capture it for our children and our grandchildren to make a legacy. So we were making that foundation so that they could see the possibilities were infinite, so that they could see that call beyond your comfort zone was an adventure to take and not something to be afraid of and to back away from, but to run towards, right? So we wanted to put it out there for them. Well, the more we began to meet people like you and others, we recognize like, hey, this is something that's needed, especially after the pandemic, right? When people were really shifting and trying to get unstuck, right? It was like this message needs to be out there. So seeing it on a screen makes it more alive, right? Actually seeing the journey, the interactions, and all of that. So we were at an event in Charleston and we met our producer, Walter Pinkney. He is the founder of Bread and Butter Productions, which is a really high level production. I mean, he's been filming like all around the world. He has similar journey. Him and his family, they take leap after leap after leap, right? And so just to have that person shooting it is someone that believed in the what we were doing and was excited for it, right? So we did these 5 parts. We shot them in Charleston, actually at the beach house that we were talking about. So it gives viewers a glimpse of that, and just around the beach and everything. And we hope that what it will do is that it will connect with people all around the world that feel stuck, that feel right on the cusp of wanting to take the leap, that it will activate in them a desire to take the leap because the adventure beyond is unknown, but it's magnificent. It's magnificent.
It is. And it will also encourage our listeners and the folks that will get a chance to see our docuseries that they too can do that and better for themselves. And encouragement to see some folks that have done it, like Diane and I, and how we went about it with no fear for what was coming. We just went forward. We took the leap, one after another.
After another.
After another.
Yeah.
After another, just like a baby takes its first step.
Exactly.
Yes,
Exactly.
You have something in here in this book. Let me see if I can find it. It's in your chapter leveling up. And
while you're looking for that, James,
yeah,
okay,
I can't find it, but what I
I
wanted
want
to
you to, I want you to find it. But what I was going to say is just this journey that we're on is our unique journey, right? So even family and friends, they see it and they're like, well, we're going to do it. And we always say this to everyone we come and encounter. We encourage you to take your lead, because if you try to take our lead, it's not going to work for you. It is not going to work for you. You're going to say, well, because people ask us things like, well, how did you get that to line up like this? Or how did you? And that is something that is organic in the flow. So
yes.
we didn't get it to line up like anything. What we did is we said yes to our leap, to our adventure. And this is our experience. You can have your own amazing experience, but you have to say yes to your adventure, to your calling, your nudge, because it's going to be different. Even if it's similar, it's going to be different.
Exactly. I love that. You have to say yes, listeners out there, to what is nudging you to take that leap. And that's the first step. Even doing this podcast, I had been trying to do a podcast since 2020 and started it. COVID closed it down. The studio closed down. I lost my money that I put into it. And then I was put in a place with people who work in music and recording, and it was an encouragement and easy to just start. So I think that everyone out there needs to start believing and trusting in the universe and God bringing all of the people you need to support you at the right moment and right time. As
Yes.
far as 516 goes, and inspiring people for this leap of faith, are you will you take it on the road at all? Because I'm thinking it might be a great little sideshow somewhere in different towns that you go. I don't know. Maybe I
Great.
need to maybe I need to write a little stage show for you guys.
Look at you. I hear you over there. I hear you. So,
Oh,
so
yes.
that is such a great question. So we did. So this is literally our second podcast interview with it. We are literally taking it on the podcast circuit, just getting the word out, because the biggest thing with this right now is it's in post production. So post production is that place where you have those investors and that money to come so that you can complete the project, promote the project, release the project. And we absolutely want to take it on the road because it's going to be a part of the journey. Just like the Love Drop podcast is now incorporated into the journey, the docu-series is now going to be incorporated into the journey. So with the podcast we did, our producer was actually saying, yeah, we wanted to get picked up by Netflix, Tubi, Amazon. We want to take it into places and spaces because people are really in dire need of seeing the things that this journey has unfolded. Just seeing people leave. I mean, Charles was hospitalized during this.
Yeah.
COVID happened during this time. So there were traumatic and big things that happened. So what it hasn't been all, roses, right? There's been
Yes.
challenges, but it's a beautiful thing to see how the challenges even elevates the journey more. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, we didn't let those things stop us. That was just a pause for the cause, and then
Yes.
continue to move forward.
Yeah.
And
And
and you were bedridden in the hospital on your deathbed,
yes,
and Diane felt that nudge that this was not it, and she
Yeah.
walked out of that hospital with you, and that's where the aftercare book came from. And that's something I would do. I've walked out of hospitals, operating rooms, doctors. I didn't believe that that was it, that was the
no,
answer. So listeners out there, this this transformational approach to your life and taking the leap and making it happen, it could come in big ways like this. You could be in the hospital,
Yeah.
you
that
know.
is so
Yeah.
true.
So true.
Yeah,
I think James, if the listeners and viewers get anything from this episode, it is to believe in the dream. Just make it happen. You can take a $5 million dream and fund it with $5, 5 cents. Because if you believe it enough and you just go at it like, I have what I need, I'm going to take the step. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go there. Once you start walking, then the ways will open. But as long as you stay in park, you cannot get anywhere on your trip. The car will not move. So think about that with your dream. As long as you keep it parked, right? And not put it into drive and go, then it won't get anywhere. So take it out of park, take the leap and go for it. Go for it.
Yes,
Go
we're
for it.
gonna. Yes, everyone out there is gonna go for it, and I am looking forward to seeing the full docu series. And listeners out there, if you are interested in helping to bring this to life on a greater digital or network platform, you can DM me or email Charles and Diane at paths2transformation@gmail.com. And their website, where you can find their Love Drops podcast, is paths with an S to the number two transformation.com. And you will see that typed in here as well. So, Charles and Diane, You have been instrumental in my life. And I just want to end this great conversation with, how do you both keep your spirit and body healthy? Charles, you are a Tai Chi master, hypnosis master. Is there any last minute tips you could give? Because you do need to be physically and mentally sound to take these leaps to make the dreams come true.
Yeah, this is so true. And something short and right to the point is to keep your body and your mind and spirit relaxed. And how you can do, I'll toss this one out right quick. Think on the word relax. And as you're thinking on it, inhale deeply through your nose, thinking of the first two letters, re on the inhalation, and think lax on the exhalation. Relax. All through the nose. Relax. And that will help you get through that and reduce a lot of stress and tension throughout your everyday, just your everyday endeavors.
And I could vouch for this because I was going through severe panic attacks in December after a round of steroids for COVID. And my mind was whacked out. And Diane said, breathe in, and exhale, lax. And I did that.
Yeah,
Yes,
it works. It works.
it
And
works.
then, and sometimes just do it 5 times. Just stop and do it 5 times. It will shift. It will shift everything, and it will slow it down so that you can get clarity, because when you slow down, you're getting more oxygen to your brain, and then hence your clarity. Walk, journal, meditate, listen to music, dance, but I would say laugh.
Laugh.
To
Yes.
take a journey like
Yes.
this, you just find laughter. Just laugh. Find your joy, and do not be afraid to make mistakes. Because actually, I say, I don't really make mistakes. I am going to either leap or learn, because it's going to
Ooh.
be a lesson or a blessing. I'm going to leap or I'm going to learn. So if I do it and it's wrong, then I'm like, okay, yep, I learned from that. And then I'm going to adjust and I'm going to leap. But you have to be willing to make mistakes. You have to be willing to just do it again and again until you get it, right. Sometimes you redirect it.
Oh,
Yes.
yes. You can get redirected. Stay focused.
Stay focused. That's
Stay
the
focused.
hardest thing. It's
Yeah.
like in your book, you said about, or you even said on here, you could change the sails. The waves might change in direction, pull you here and pull you there. You can always adjust the sails.
Adjust yourselves.
That's right.
Yes.
That's
That
right.
will keep you going. I could tell story after story about those things that happened to us. But I want to
Yeah.
stay focused.
I know we're going to stay focused. Thank you both. This has been amazing to see
Thank
you, number one, and to also be able to have you share your story, your platforms, and your new 516 docuseries.
Yeah.
And I encourage everyone out there, please run and order your copies of Clearly Ready and Aftercare and Charles's book, Tai Chi Secrets with Master Woody, available on their website, pathstotransformation.com. And their Love Drops podcast. They have amazing guests that share their experiences in taking that leap.
Yes. And you can get the podcast on other places too. You can do Amazon, Spotify, Apple, just wherever you listen
All
to.
the major platforms.
Yeah, all the
were
major
there.
platforms, YouTube, all of those places will get you the podcast. Can I just leave with this one, Jay? We knew nothing about doing a podcast. And for like 5 years, we were saying, yeah, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. And the pandemic came in 2020. It forced us to take a leap to start the podcast. So if you go back at the beginning of the series and listen to episode 1, we were literally in a closet with our cell phone recording the episode, and you see it just evolves to where it is, where we have a team and we have others, and we have phenomenal guests. When we started it, it's like we couldn't buy a guest. Charles and I, you'll see, we were guests back and forth, but now we're at a point in the podcast that we have guests, we have episodes recorded all the way into next year. So if you have to start in a closet with your cell phone and just put it out there and just be okay, sound quality, microphone and all this, no, it's the message, it's the dream. If you start, then it will come together, but you have to start.
Just get started. Take that first.
We're going to leave everybody with that. Just get started making those dreams come true.
Yes.
One love to everybody. One love to Charles and Diane.
Thanks for joining me on this episode of Making It. I'm your host, James DeMarco. Keep dreaming, and I'll see you next time.